Picture this, it's 2008 and Robert Downey Jr. has just stepped out of a sleek silver supercar. The eyes of the world are on the Audi R8. It would become the car of choice for Tony Stark for years to come, but this was not what the R8 would be known for. The cut-price Lamborghini would go on to become one of the most recognisable supercars of the 21st century, and a goal for children all around the world. It was a clear symbol of Audi's new era as owners of Lamborghini, and a greater focus on performance. So how did the R8 come about? What made it the perfect halo car for Audi? This is the story of the R8. This actually begins back in 1994. Megatech purchased Lamborghini and hired Ital Design to design a new concept to replace the Alpa. The Cala, as it was known, used a V10 engine and featured an aluminium chassis and a carbon fibre body. Whilst this concept never made it into production due to Audi buying the brand in 1998, in 2003 Lamborghini would begin production of the Gallardo, a cheaper, less powerful model when compared to the Murcielago, but easier to live with and better selling. The R8 would be developed using the chassis from the Gallardo and would later use its engine. Development of the R8 itself began with the Le Mans Quattro concept, which shared obvious styling cues with the production R8. Developed to celebrate Audi winning 3 consecutive 24 hours of Le Mans races, was shown off at the 2003 Frankfurt Motor Show. The concept used the Audi space frame chassis shared with the Gallardo. A body made out of carbon fibre and aluminium meant the curb weight was low at just over 1,500 kilos. The concept also shared the V10 from the Gallardo, although it featured 2 turbochargers and different cylinder heads. The power output of 602 horsepower was incredible for its time and showed a different side to Audi as one that could produce a properly competitive supercar. It culminated in a 3.7 second 0 to 62 time, and the permanent Quattro all-wheel drive system meant that a time close to the one quoted could be achieved no matter the road conditions. The 6-speed robotised manual gearbox was also from the Gallardo, and the magnetic dampers were featured in the TT. Another different feature were the LED lights, something Audi was pioneering at the time. Designed by Frank Lamberti, it had 20-inch wheels and shared design features from the TT. It shook up the industry at a time when Audi was in a transition phase from being seen as a bit boring to a company making high-performance cars as well as more mass-market options. The Le Mans Quattro concept was a great example of VW Group brands making something great from the group's part bin, and the positive reaction it received led it to go into production. Named the R8 after the successful R8 LMP car, development for the production model began in 2004, and it was confirmed in 2005 with a due date of 2007. Prototype testing began in January 2006, and it was revealed properly at the Paris Motor Show that year. The R8 initially launched with a 4.2 litre V8 engine, and the choice between a 6-speed manual and the robotised manual 6-speed, known as the R-Tronic, which was seen as jerky and slow, making the manual much more desirable today, and not just for the more engaging driving experience either. This was shown by the extra 0.3 seconds taken to reach 60 by the auto, when an automatic gearbox would be expected to be the faster of the two. With 414 horsepower and 430 Nm of torque, it was no slouch, with a 4-second 0 to 60 time being recorded in the manual. The Quattro all-wheel drive system was rear biased, with up to 70% of the power being sent to the rear wheels. The R8 was priced at just under £77,000, or around $110,000, making it great value, especially compared to other alternatives at the time. Being described as better than the Porsche 997 911, V8 Vantage, Nissan GT-R, and the Gallardo itself, the R8 was certainly received well and justified its expensive price tag. It was popular with customers too, as every model for the 2008 year sold out in just a week, and buyers were satisfied when they received their cars after fairly long wait times. Audi doubled down on the R8 by introducing the V10 version in December 2008. Featuring the naturally aspirated V10 from the Gallardo, it produced 518 horsepower and 530 Nm of torque. This took the 0 to 62 time below 4 seconds and gave the Audi a top speed of 196 miles per hour. The V10 had other upgrades over the V8 model, such as LED headlights, which were a world first, an improved sound system, more aggressive styling, larger brakes, and a different exhaust. In 2009, the Spider was revealed. After being spotted in pictures from the Iron Man 2 film, it was finally shown off properly. Featuring an electric cloth roof, the Spider needed extra chassis support due to the rigidity of the roof being lost. Other than that, little else had changed between the coupe and the convertible. In 2011, the V8 Spider joined the R8 fleet, featuring the same chassis changes and roof as the V10. The Spider had more power than the V8 coupe, an extra 14 horsepower, taking a total to 428, took the V8 Spider to 62 miles an hour in just 4.3 seconds and a top speed of 186. In 2010, Audi revealed a truly different variant of the R8. The GT was an even faster version of the supercar due to its lower weight and higher power. Using the V10 engine, it had an upgraded power output of 552 horsepower, a weight reduction of 100 kilos, and more aero, such as a fixed rear wing and winglets on the front bumper, improved handling. The GT could do 199 miles per hour and hit 62 in just 3.6 seconds, 0.3 of a second faster than the standard V10. It was put into production in 2012, with just 333 being made worldwide. Audi also made a Spider version of the GT, which was produced in the same quantity as the coupe. The increased weight due to extra chassis support was the only difference to the coupe. Despite this, it still saved 85 kilos compared with the V10 Spider, partly due to the carbon fibre seats, which saved 32 kilograms alone. In autumn 2012, Audi updated the R8. Changes like a new gloss black grille, LED headlights becoming standard across the range, and larger wheels as standard, freshened up the look, whilst the introduction of the faster S-Tronic dual clutch gearbox and adaptive magnetic dampers being added as an option for the V8 and being standard for the V10. Inside, electrically adjustable sport seats were introduced, standard on the V10 and optional on the 8-cylinder model. There was also more leather used in the interior when compared with the pre-facelift model. The R8 V10 Plus was also introduced in 2012 alongside the facelifted models, with the V10 tuned up to 542 horsepower and a weight reduction of 50 kilograms. It also looked more striking, with carbon fibre parts being plentiful, most notably on the front splitter and rear diffuser. Other parts were finished in gloss or matte black for a more aggressive, stealthy look. Sport-tuned shock absorbers and ceramic brakes showed the V10 Plus was going above and beyond previous non-limited R8s, and the bucket seats hinted that it was better suited on the track than the roads. So then, how did the first generation R8 sell? It was far from the best-selling Audi, but it certainly sold well for a supercar. Over 10 years of being on sale, Audi sold over 28,000 of them. Whilst this doesn't sound like many, they sold far more R8s than Lamborghini did Gallardos, and overall, it can be considered a success, especially when you consider what else they got from the R8. The R8 e-tron was an electric R8 concept first revealed in 2009, using 4 electric motors producing 313 horsepower. It wasn't as quick as a combustion R8, but was an exciting idea for many at the time. Using lightweight materials like carbon fibre, magnesium and aluminium, it had a curb weight of just 1,588 kilograms, which is still impressive today for an EV. The electric system was fairly advanced for the time, as was the idea of regen braking. A prototype with an increased power output of 376 horsepower and looks more reminiscent of the actual R8 was shown off in 2011. The setup was switched to 2 motors at the rear. Audi stated that they had intended to produce a limited number, although this was shelved in 2013, as the German brand felt the range was not good enough, as battery technology hadn't advanced as quickly as they had hoped. However, a very limited number were made on customer request, though this was done based on individual orders and was based on the 2nd gen R8 platform. Whilst the R8 e-tron was less of a success than combustion R8s, it did a lot to change the perception of EVs as slow and boring, and gave car enthusiasts hope that EVs wouldn't be all the same. It also gave Audi good insights into EV technology, and presumably some good PR as well. So, I've spoken about sales and development of future technologies, but what was the biggest benefit of the R8 for Audi? The Halo car, meaning it was the top model for the brand, brought eyes to the German company and most likely helped sales for cheaper models as well. The A5 and S5, released around the same time as the R8, were somewhat similar design, as did the 2nd generation TT. Both cars were available as coupes and convertibles, but were cheaper alternatives to the R8 for those interested in the design and the brand, but couldn't afford the supercar. Cars that shared the engines, such as the RS4 and S5 and later RS5, potentially also received sales increases, as did the S6 and RS6, which would use slightly modified versions of the V10 engine. Whilst this is speculation, the revolutionary nature of the R8 may have increased sales of these, but it definitely drew new eyes to the brand and helped to change Audi styling so their range matched the R8 better. Therefore, despite not being as coveted as the Gallardo, cheaper and slightly slower, the R8 was just as important for the VW Audi group as the Italian model, as both had massive impacts on their respective brands. Therefore, the 1st generation R8 is one of the most important supercars of the last 2 decades, as it began a trend of supercars becoming more practical and signalled Audi were back in business in the high performance world.